Cristiano Ronaldo. The name alone evokes images of record-breaking moments, iconic celebrations, and a relentless pursuit of greatness. But the biggest surprise isn't just about his legendary status. It's the rising chatter that he could return to European football for free. How in the world would that even happen? Is it just rumor, or is there a concrete path to make it a reality? Today, we're diving deep into the twists and turns of this potential transfer shocker, looking at the hidden FIFA rules that might allow him to rejoin a top European club without a single euro leaving anyone's pocket. We'll also explore the secret motivations driving Ronaldo and how one newly revamped competition could be the real trigger behind his decision to come back. Because sometimes it's not just about the money, especially when history is on the line. Rumors about Ronaldo heading back to Europe have surfaced practically every transfer window since he first set foot in Saudi Arabia. Many fans scoffed, pointing to his age or the idea that he'd lost interest in top-level football. After all, he's won everything there is to win in Europe and set record after record along the way. Some argued he left because he wanted to elevate the sport's profile in an emerging region, earn a massive paycheck, and quietly exit the big stage. But if there's one thing about Cristiano Ronaldo we should never forget, it's that he thrives on proving people wrong. Like an unstoppable force, he's racked up more Champions League goals than anyone in history. He's endured heated debates over his place among the all-time greats, going toe-to-toe with rivals year after year. Even when he switched clubs, critics popped up to say he was done, yet each time he roared back with goals, trophies, and the kind of performances that left doubters speechless. That's precisely why this return to Europe talk keeps finding its way into the headlines. It's the perfect narrative for a legend who might have one more miracle left in him. But beyond the typical sports gossip, there's a genuine reason these rumors gained momentum recently. It has to do with an upcoming tournament that FIFA has elevated to a new level of importance. Even though the name sounds familiar, Club World Cup, the format is about to change drastically, and Ronaldo seems determined not to miss the debut of this grand new stage. It's not just that he wants to participate, it's that the man has an undying hunger for fresh records. Whether you love him or hate him, you can't deny that. He sees a chance to break barriers in a competition that's never been bigger, never been more prestigious, and never before included 32 global clubs vying for a trophy that might become as coveted as the UEFA Champions League itself. So the real question is, what's the path that takes him from Al Nassr back onto Europe's brightest field? And why right now? Let's talk about the why. Ronaldo is pushing 40. People might think he should be settling down or focusing on a coaching career, maybe heading off to Hollywood cameo appearances, or even diving deeper into business ventures. So why circle back to the intense pressure cooker environment of a top European club, especially for just a few weeks? First, there's the looming 2026 FIFA World Cup. For most players, featuring in a major tournament in their 40s would be laughably optimistic. Yet Ronaldo has never been most players. If he's going to put up one final show on the global stage with Portugal, training against Europe's toughest defenders might sharpen him better than staying in a league that, despite its rapid improvement, isn't quite at the same day-to-day level. But before the national team events, there's something far more immediate and appealing. The newly revamped Club World Cup set to kick off this summer. FIFA's decided to blow up the old, relatively small format and replace it with a 32-team spectacle every 4 years. It's bigger, it's bolder, and it could redefine club football competitions on a global scale. No more half-hearted tournaments where a couple of regional champions fly in for a week. This is a month-long extravaganza that might eventually rival the Champions League in prestige. Ronaldo, in typical fashion, wants to be part of that history. Being there for the inaugural edition is special. Winning it would be historic. If he doesn't go this year, he's unlikely to see another edition in 2028 because Father Time will catch up. There's no guarantee he'd still be playing actively at 44 years old. So if he's going to do it, it has to be now. And then there's his legendary rivalry with Lionel Messi. The Argentine is set to appear at the tournament with Inter Miami due to their special invitation as hosts. Can you imagine the headlines if Messi is there and Ronaldo isn't? The lure of one last showdown with his greatest rival? this time on a club stage that's brand new, has to be tantalizing. Even if they no longer go head-to-head in the same league, the idea of both icons chasing a trophy in a 32-team World Cup environment is a dream for football romantics worldwide. Here's the snag, though. The Saudi Pro League does have a representative in this new Club World Cup, but it's Al Hilal, not Al Nasser. That means Ronaldo, staying where he is, would miss out entirely. It's a cruel twist. If Al Nassr had qualified, we'd all be gearing up for the spectacle of seeing him lead his Saudi side onto the international stage. Instead, he's stuck on the outside looking in. And for someone like Ronaldo, that's a bitter pill to swallow. Financially, Al Nassr and the Saudi Pro League have backed him like never before, giving him a record-breaking contract and a platform to remain a global icon. The league has grown in visibility. New star signings, bigger audiences, and more sponsors are stepping forward. You might wonder, isn't that enough reason for him to stay put? Possibly. But for a footballer who's built his entire legend on being in the thick of elite competition, missing out on a huge global tournament hurts. He can't switch the team from within Saudi Arabia either. Al Hilal, the qualified club, is a direct rival. There's little chance they'd arrange a last-minute shuffle of players. Ronaldo's contract situation, however, is a wild card. If it's ending exactly this summer, he can theoretically walk out as a free agent. Or, if there's an option for a short loan, he could finagle something that satisfies both his longing for the Club World Cup and Al Nassr's concerns about losing their prize star for good. This is where a special FIFA regulation comes into play. The world's governing body foresaw that some clubs might need reinforcements to deal with the grueling month-long schedule. The question is, does this rule actually open the door for a short-term rental of CR7? FIFA introduced a concept that's unusual: 2 extra, extremely short transfer windows, specifically for the 32 teams taking part in the new Club World Cup. From June 1st to June 10th, immediately after the Champions League final, those clubs can sign anyone. Then, unbelievably, there's a second mini window right in the midst of the tournament, June 27th to July 3rd. Allowing each club to bring in 2 more players if they want. The idea is to let teams reinforce themselves because the competition is longer and more intense than the old version of the Club World Cup. For clubs from Europe, South America, North America, Asia, Africa, and Oceania, this is a chance to grab new talent or replace injured players without waiting for the traditional transfer period. Now consider Ronaldo's situation. His current deal with Al Nassr supposedly runs out this summer. If that's accurate, he becomes a free agent, meaning no transfer fee and no complicated negotiations if a European club wants him just for the month. Even if he renews with Al Nassr, there's precedent for players going out on short loans in the MLS offseason. Thierry Henry famously did it with Arsenal. For 1 month, a European powerhouse can use Ronaldo for the tournament. Then send him back. Everybody wins in that scenario. Ronaldo checks off another major trophy attempt. Al Nassr doesn't lose him permanently. The borrowing club doesn't shell out a massive transfer fee and pay year-round wages. And if Ronaldo has the chance to face Messi on the biggest stage, well, the entire football world tunes in. It's almost too perfect, which is why skepticism remains. Could it really be that straightforward? Could the biggest name in football pull off a 1-month cameo at a top club, possibly winning a brand new trophy, then return to Saudi Arabia as a hero? The regulations suggest it's possible. The question is whether the club he joins wants the media circus that inevitably follows him. Now that we know the why and the how, let's explore. There are 12 European clubs set to participate in this inaugural 32-team Club World Cup. Which among them could realistically accommodate Ronaldo, even for a short time? And why would they bother? When you think of Cristiano's home in Europe, Madrid tops the list. He spent his prime there, becoming the club's all-time leading scorer, winning multiple Champions League titles and forging an unbreakable bond with the fans, despite a few rough patches. If any place feels like home, it's the Santiago Bernabeu. But would Real Madrid be open to a short-term reunion? Despite boasting one of the world's most expensive squads, they've had moments this season where they lacked a clinical finisher. There have been injuries, occasional scoring droughts, and a series of missed opportunities in big matches. For a one-month tournament, a lethal striker with championship pedigree might be exactly the jolt they need. Another old flame of Ronaldo's. Though the relationship ended on somewhat cool terms, Juventus might be in more desperate need than Real Madrid. Their season has been marred by inconsistency. Rumors swirl about manager changes, questionable signings, and a morale problem in the dressing room. Missing out on the Serie A title race, crashing out early in the Champions League, and facing humiliating defeats in domestic competitions have made things bleak. Securing Ronaldo's services for a month could reinvigorate the fan base, spark the squad's confidence, and help them chase the Club World Cup title, one of the few trophies still within their reach. It's a gamble, sure, but if you're stuck in a downward spiral, a proven winner might be the cure. Everything sounds like a fairy tale on paper. Clubs sign a global superstar for a month. Fans get a frenzy of excitement, and Ronaldo gets his shot at glory. But real football isn't played on paper. There are financial, bureaucratic, and even emotional hurdles. For instance, some clubs may not want to disrupt their chemistry. A short-term CR7 cameo might upset squad balance. Players wonder why the manager is bending everything to accommodate a 40-year-old who might leave right after the tournament. Dressing room politics can be fragile, and a high-profile arrival sometimes backfires. Then there's the question of wages. Even for a month, Ronaldo's salary expectations aren't going to be small. Yes, the club won't pay a transfer fee, but will they be willing to cover an enormous paycheck, even if it's prorated for a few weeks? Some directors may see it as an excellent marketing opportunity, while others worry about the big hit on the budget with no guaranteed success. Media frenzy is another factor. Every training session, every substitution, every press conference would revolve around Ronaldo's presence. Some managers embrace the attention. Others would do anything to avoid the spotlight. That might particularly deter clubs like City or Bayern, where coaches carefully control their narratives. Fans also play a role. In the event Ronaldo chooses a fierce rival of one of his former teams, say he signs with City or Chelsea, would supporters of Manchester United or Real Madrid turn on him? And would fans at the new club truly accept a legend from another side, knowing he's basically a month-long mercenary? The emotional element is real, especially given how tribal football can be. So after all these factors, are we absolutely certain Cristiano Ronaldo's on his way back to Europe? The truth is, no one can say for sure. He's notoriously private about his decisions, often dropping cryptic hints that keep fans guessing. And in football, last-minute changes happen all the time. What we do know is that the stage is set. The newly minted Club World Cup is the perfect arena for one final CR7 show in Europe. FIFA regulations conveniently open a transfer path that wasn't there before. His contract with Al Nassr lines up suspiciously well with the timing. And the entire spectacle, Ronaldo battling for a trophy that Messi also covets, could be the stuff of sporting legend.